Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for jumping on. I know there's a couple of you still getting on. I'm just going to try and move this so I can see my whiteboard okay. Hey, Shaheen, good to see you. Yes. So I know we're just waiting for a few people to get on. Good to see you, Shaheen. Again, I've seen you a couple of minutes on another webinar. But I know we're just waiting for a couple more people to jump on. Again, just a bit of housekeeping. Please feel free to comment. Lots of love hearts, lots of likes, lots of comments. Of course, I love a bit of interaction in these things, which is really great. Also, again, you can ask questions, you can comment, whatever you want to do is brilliant. And on top of that, also, if you're watching this and you're new, you've never seen one of my lives before, then please could you just type in the comments #new so I know you're new. And if you're watching it on replay, then just type #replay. So again, I know that you watched it on replay as well. So I haven't done my lives for a few weeks now because it's funny, I'd planned to do them while I was away, but I've been away. So I kind of went off to Italy, to Lake Como, and got engaged to the beautiful, lovely Isabel Polanco, who's just said hi to Shaheen. And also, so we had a great trip over to there, Lake Como, kind of living this millionaire lifestyle, which was amazing. Then I came back, and literally within a short space of time, I was over to Atlanta, where I went over with a team from our business, and we got to basically hang out with a lot of these multi-million kind of dollar earners and multi-millionaires, even billionaires, some of them. And again, when I say we hung out, it wasn't that we just, we got to be in the same room as them. I mean, we went for dinner with them, and they just sat there and we ate and we discussed and chatted, and, they shared things with us, which was really, really fantastic. So got to meet a bunch of these million plus, well, I don't know how many $1 million earners we met, but it was quite a few. But certainly we hang out with 4 or 5 of them. Also got to meet the amazing Art Williams. So if you don't know who Art Williams is, I know most of you probably do, but if you don't, then just Google Art Williams Do It speech. It's one of his ones that he's famous for. And interestingly enough, I looked up in the Primerica Museum, and I found that he actually came out with that Do It speech way before Nike. So maybe he inspired that as well. I don't know. But it was a phenomenal trip. Got to hang out with a bunch of other winners, successful people. And it's amazing how, when you hang out with people that think in a certain way, it feels great. I mean, you're all kind of on the same page, and you're all sort of thinking the same things. You've got the same mindset, and you can really kind of discuss kind of goals and future. And a great thing is that there was such a unity with the group that were there. We had 20 of us that went over there. And so I wanted to share today some of the things that I got from Art Williams. We got to meet the kind of great man himself, but really we just went to a 2-day seminar. We sat there with a few hundred other people. People would kind of kill for those tickets, but just we were able to get into this event really through the relationship of our CEO that he has with them. And we basically just got to listen and learn, and it was amazing. So I wanted to kind of share with you today a couple of the things that I got from Art Williams. For those of you who don't know, he's on the Forbes list, and he's worth, a couple of $1 billion. He's an incredible guy. So again, don't know him, Google Art Williams, and you'll find out. So one of the things that really struck me, first of all, this guy is in his mid 70s, and he is he was just more passionate, or as passionate as when I've seen him on these videos from years ago. Hey Alan, good to see you. Hope you got back from Barcelona okay. A whole bunch of us just came back from Barcelona because on top of Atlanta, by the way, we came back. I went up to Manchester for 2 days, did a seminar up there, came back, and 3 days later flew out to Barcelona, had a 7-day cruise, and we had actually over 200 people on that cruise that were there hanging out, socializing, learning. And so 200 people taking up the cruise. I think we were about 10% of the cruise ship was our team. which was awesome. Next year, I think we're going to have 500 people coming on that trip. So we're really excited about that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy 3 weeks. And again, I've got one more trip this year outside of the UK. So that's just 4 days in Canary Islands for a mastermind group trip. Yeah, good to see you, Alan. Alan was one of the guys with that on the troop, and lots of little nuggets. Yeah, my pleasure, Alan. Listen, one of the great things about those kind of trips that we take is that we get to just share nuggets with people around the pool and stuff like that. So, but okay, so this is really a call about what I learned from Art Williams. One of the things I learned from this guy is, first of all, again, is more enthusiastic, or as enthusiastic as I've ever seen him on any video. 70-something years old, banging on the lectern, talking about the mission and being warriors and tough thing. One of the things I really grasped was that he's just got this tough mindset. And so, he's got this mindset that if I'm here and I want to get to here, you got a couple of options. Your first option is come with me. That's a great option, and probably the one that makes you the most money and gets you the most success. The other option is you can get out of my way, because I'm either going to go over you or I'm going to go through you. He's got this laser-like focus that he's just determined, and you're not going to stop him achieving his goals. And it just got me thinking that, you've got to have this with your goals. And I've taught a lot about goals and goal setting and connecting your goals with emotion, and look back on some of the other lives to see that. But you got to have this tough, you can't stop me mindset. You've got to just decide that I want to get where I'm going. And if people are not on board with me, well, they need to get out of your way, because you want to get there. And so I kind of determined, this week that I've got certain things I want to achieve this year. And I've dedicated the next 12 to 18 months to do that. And so if people are not going to run with me on that, that's fine, still love them, but I'm going to focus on getting to my destination. And no matter what obstacles come up, I'm going to go around them, over them, through them, and I'm going to achieve those goals. And so you've got to have that with your mindset. So I challenge all of you that are on today, that write down those goals if you haven't done it already, or maybe review them. And start asking yourself, well, how seriously, how badly do I want these goals? Do I want to achieve them? It'll be nice, or whatever it takes, I'm going to do that. And what this is also going to do is it's going to mean that you have to sometimes organize your circumstances for that success. You're going to have to go, well, okay, sometimes we have excuses for not achieving stuff. Oh, well, I couldn't do this because of my work schedule. I couldn't do this because I've got kids. I've got childcare issues. I couldn't do it because I didn't get coaching, or I didn't get training, whatever. I couldn't do it because of whatever. It's so easy to think of excuses as to why you don't achieve something. And excuses are just kind of well-planned. I don't know what the phrase is. I can't remember what it is. Someone will tell me. But it's not about making excuses. In my view, my saying is excuses are for losers. Just don't make excuses. Decide that you're going to do something, and listen, you're going to mess up along the way, okay? You're going to mess up, and you're going to have obstacles, but you know what? Don't make an excuse. Just put your hand up and go, well, what can I learn from that? So have this tough mindset. Get really clear about what you're trying to achieve. Get clear about your objective, and give yourself this time frame, and then just go after it. Look at your diary, look at your time schedule. Again, if you want to look at one of the previous lives, if your objection or your excuse is I don't have time, well, look at the live I did a few weeks ago on how to create more time, because I promise you, you've got enough time. You just have to manage it more effectively. We all get the same 168 hours in every week. You just got to manage yours differently if you don't have it, okay? So decide where are you spending your time, where you're investing your time, where you're wasting your time, where are you losing time, etc. So look at that and then find the time. Then organize your circumstances for success. Organize your circumstances so you are enabled to be able to achieve the goals that you have. Now, the first thing is if you've got no goals, well, you're not going to hit anything because you don't know where you're going. You can't plan a journey if you don't know a destination. So if you've not done that, first step, go do that. Even if it's a small thing, just write it down. The second thing is you've got to train yourself with your mindset. And again, I've talked about this before, but one of the things I do is I consistently, every day, talk to myself, self-talk, you know. I tell myself that I can do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to that. And it's amazing when you do that. Faith comes by hearing. You start to learn. Or your mindset starts to shift. So you start to think a little differently. And it's amazing because it's such a small thing that, you know, I had this goal this year, and it was a goal that when I kind of wrote it down, I had this self-conversation that said, you idiot, Steve, you're never going to achieve that. You're going to look really stupid when you don't achieve that goal. And I wrote this goal down publicly. I mean, I put it in front of a whole bunch of people, said, I'm going to do this. And my mindset said, or my conversation in my head said, don't be an idiot. You're never going to do it. How dumb are you going to look when you don't make it? Maybe you've had that yourself. You know, how many of you have had the situation where you've maybe said, you've written a goal down, or you've told somebody a goal, and you've thought, oh, why did I do that? Let me see a comment if you've ever had that, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely going to achieve that. And you thought, oh, mate, you know, I'm going to look so stupid if I don't achieve that goal. Yeah. Maybe, you know, let me see a love heart, hand raise, or whatever, some interaction. Have any of you ever made a goal and then you've doubted it immediately? You know, thank you. So I know I've done that, right? But then what happens is you can listen to that conversation in your head. You can listen to that voice, or you can just keep telling yourself something else. You know, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I did this with my goal. And it's funny because it's just after saying it so many times, I started to think differently. And then what happened is I kind of started looking at my goal differently. The mindset shift changed my perspective. So I started thinking, well, I mean, if I break that down, it's not that much. If I kind of look, you know, break that down into bite-sized chunks, and I look at my strategy and break it down into daily or weekly activity, well, it's not that much, really. And then what happened is I started to do some things. I had a little bit of success, and I started to get, you know, maybe I've achieved 25% of the goal quicker than I expected, you know, and then I start thinking, well, gosh, I've done 25% already. I mean, I've only got 75% to go, and I'm really only just got going. And you start to change this conversation. And then you get 50%. Now I'm at a point where I'm 90% of my goal, and I'm only 70% of the way through the year. So now I'm thinking, man, maybe my goal was a bit too small. Maybe I should just re-look at my goals and extend it. So I've actually added another 30% to my goal. And now instead of thinking, gosh, you idiot, 30% on top of your original goal, which you thought was too difficult. Now I'm thinking, gosh, next year's goal, maybe I could do like 300% of this year's original goal. So already what's happened is, because I stretched my mindset, I've stretched my thinking. Now my thinking is bigger. And someone described it once like it's like an elastic band. If you get an elastic band and you just keep doing this, at first it's quite taut, but as you do that, it's able to stretch further and further, because it kind of it just gets bigger, right? So I just keep stretching, and now it's not so difficult to stretch that far. It's not so difficult to think bigger, because I've already had success in thinking smaller. So it's just like practice. Get into the habit of thinking bigger about your goals, talking bigger about your goals, and doing your goals. So that was the thing that really I got from that conversation. I mean, I've taught it before, but it just really reinforced that for me. You know, Art Williams has this tough mentality. He says, I'm looking for tough people. If you're going to go into battle, do you want people that are going to go, let me try and help you? Or do you want people that say, I got this, we can win? You know, so for people that work with me, I don't say to them, hey, come and work with me and I will try to help you achieve your goals. I don't say, come and work with me and hopefully we'll improve your situation. I'm 100% confident if somebody's working with me, whether in my team or whatever outside here, I'm 100% confident if somebody works and works with me in some capacity, I can make an impact in their life. I'm 100% confident that if they apply the things I teach, it will be life-changing for them. It's not wishy-washy. It's not theory. It's not hopefully. It's 100%. So Shaheen is one of these great people. Thank you for that, Shaheen. But you're one of these great people that you make my life easy because you're constantly drawing stuff out from me. I love to give and I love to share and I love to coach, and I get so excited at seeing people achieve their goals. So, I know we've achieved one goal that we've talked about already, and so I'm excited about you going on to that next one. And I know we're going to be working on that these next 10 days or so. So I love when I help people achieve goals, but I'm 100% confident that if you do what I coach you to do, it will change your life. Now, if you don't do the things I coach you to do, it won't. You see, it's a two-way street. And if you've got a coach or mentor, other than me, you may have a great coach, a great mentor, because there's a lot of good people out there. But if you don't be coachable, if you don't do the things that they tell you to do, that they coach you, then you can't blame them if you don't make it, right? You can't go, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, if you didn't be 100% coachable, and there was this saying that, if you want to be an expert in something, find an expert in the thing you want to do and do exactly what they tell you. It doesn't say, find an expert in the thing you want to do and pick and choose the bits you like or dislike and do those bits. It says do exactly what they tell you. They're the expert. I'm an expert in my business. And whether you're in my business or not, again, some of you are, some of you aren't. But if you are, then just be coachable to me or your leader, your trainer, and you can win. If you're in another business, look at whoever the big hitters are in your business, whoever the winners are in your business, be coachable to them and you'll win. Take positive action in the things that they tell you and you will win. If you try and change it, if you try and pick and choose the easy bits, which we do naturally, then you reduce your chances of winning. So, you've got to have this mindset. So Art Williams had this tough mentality. Something else he said, and I love this, he talked about this phrase, a little bit more. A little bit more. And he mentioned, he said, for the last 350 something days or whatever it was, I can't remember the exact figure. He said, I have swam for 300 something days out of the last 365 days. I've swam an hour and 5 minutes every single day. Hey, Desmond, good to see you. An hour and 5 minutes every single day. Now, I was sitting there thinking, and I know lots of other people were thinking too, well, why an hour and 5 minutes? I mean, most of us would say, let's do an hour, But he said, now the reason I do an hour and 5 minutes is because I want to, number one, make sure I get my full hour. Because, you've got some getting in the pool, getting out of the pool, I want to do my full hour. But he said, most importantly, I just want to make sure that I do a little bit more. Imagine that. This guy who's a billionaire, he does 5 minutes extra in the pool because his mindset is that he wants to do a bit more. He wants to go the extra mile, do the extra lap, the extra bit of exertion, the extra bit of effort. Imagine if you, in your business or in your life or in your, situation, you decided instead of doing what it takes, I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to give an extra 5 minutes, an extra 10 minutes. I'm going to do a bit more than I did before. And that again just resonated with me that, maybe we can just start thinking like that. Let me do a little bit more. Because see, a little bit more is not a lot more. It's a little bit. But if you just do a little bit more this week or this month, and then you do a little bit more next week, and then you just do a little bit more the week after, what you have is this thing called consistent progression. You're consistently progressing. You're making strides forward. Because remember, and whether you're going fast or slow in your business or in your life or towards your goals, remember every step, whether it be a small step or a large step, if it's towards your goals, it's still progress. And the ultimate strategy to getting your goal is to make progress. Now ideally you want to make fast progress. You want to make speedy progress because success loves speed. Slow but sure wins the race. I'm sure you've heard that. No, it doesn't. Speed wins, but slow but sure finishes. So you get to decide whether you go slow but sure or you go fast. Both of them work, just one of them is fast, one of them is slower. But making consistent progress is the key. And one of the strategies to do that is doing a little bit more. He made this statement, which I love, and this just demonstrated, I think, his mindset. And he said that No one thought I was special, but I thought I was special. Let me ask you, do you think you're special? Do you think of yourself as a winner? Do you think of yourself as a champion? That's a challenge, right? See, I know some of you I'm talking to right now, you're thinking sometimes, or no, or some of you are thinking, yes, that's me. I want to challenge you. Do you think of yourself as a winner? I remember watching this. There's a big boxing match on tonight, Anthony Joshua fights on tonight. For those of you who are boxing fans, I like to watch all the fights. And I remember years ago, I watched this fight between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. And this was a mega fight. I mean, this was like one of the biggest ever. There was a grudge match. There was all this stuff going on. They even had, in the time when they announced, when they did the ring stuff, ring announcements, they had a line of security diagonally across the ring, in the middle of the ring. So it was like this. This is the ring. And they got one boxer there, one boxer. And they had a line of security across the middle. So these guys could not get at each other before the fight. I mean, drama. But what I love is that they interviewed Evander Holyfield before this fight, and they said to him, and they asked him about how he feels about the fight, and he said, something? He said, whether I win or whether I lose the fight, it doesn't change the fact that I'm a winner. Imagine that. He said, I don't care what the result is in the ring. I am a winner because that's what I am. That's who I am. Hey, Helen, good to see you. Oh no, I was just talking about you yesterday. All good. But whether you are a winner or a quitter or a winner or a loser, you get to choose what you are. You can choose to think differently. And all it takes, and this is the best part about our brains, right? The best part is you can just choose to think like a winner. Now, there are things you can do to change that mindset process. I was just reading that mindset. There's things you can do to change that process or that mindset, is that you get around winners. I loved hanging out this week on a cruise with 200 winners, 200 people that said, I'm going to do what it takes to get my goals. That felt good, sharing stuff and being able to sow into their lives and learning from them, was amazing. I loved going to Atlanta and hanging out with 20 people that think big. And I've got to say, when we came back from Atlanta after seeing Art Williams and seeing all these $1 million earners and multimillionaires and just drawing and learning from these guys. I mean, every day we were learning. It was amazing. We were in the van discussing going to the next venue. We stayed in 3 hotels over 6 nights. We didn't have downtime. We just worked, went to the next one, learned, sucked up some more knowledge, and it was phenomenal. But you know what was great is every single one of us came back from that trip with our mindset exploded. It was like we were thinking bigger already, but now we're thinking huge. I mean, bigger than we've ever thought before. We were thinking, gosh, there's a saying that small is not big. And I never really got what that meant. It's like, yeah, small's not big, small's not big. But you know what? Small is not big, but big is not massive. We might be all right sized in your business, but there's a whole world out there of immense growth that's available to you if you just tap into the right things. And so for me, I came back thinking, I have a level of success that many people might aspire to. I have a level of income that many people would like. I drive a car that many people may like to drive. But, I came back thinking, my gosh, I'm just like this right now, and I can be, not that I'm satisfied with that, because, I'm never satisfied, but I can be here, My screen is not big enough to kind of expand to where I can be. I can be bigger than this, and it's not just about money, it's about impact, it's about changing people's lives. For me, I love the fact that I see people apply what I teach and it changes their life. And I can do more. And the bigger I grow, the huger my business, the higher my skill set, the larger my mindset, the more I get to impact people's lives. I get to see more, hundreds, thousands, even millions of people's lives get changed because they apply the things I teach. And if I can equip and train and develop and empower other people with the same skills so they can go and do the same, then I use the power of leverage to make impact. And that's what I do. So it just really drilled down for me, and I just started to think bigger. One of the things that Art says is, he talks about having no limits. You got to take the limits off your mindset. We're only limited by our imagination. We're only limited by our thoughts, by our mind. I was chatting about this with some of my vice president, colleagues the other day, and we were talking about, isn't it amazing how we use this tiny percentage of our brain, and we've got this big brain with all this capacity in it, and we use such a small percentage of it, and yet, we've got so much untapped potential. You have so much untapped potential, but all you've got to do is learn how to tap into that potential, and you do that by getting around people that can, number one, believe in you. Get around people that see potential in you and want to help cultivate it. Get around people that talk good to you. Don't hang around with people that say, oh, you'll never do that. I mean, how many of you, again, let me see a love heart, hand raise or whatever, or comment, you've ever shared something with somebody and they went, oh, that's never going to work. Oh, you'll never do that. I mean, one of our kids, he's just turned 18. And he's got his first job and he's making money the first time, and he's already a percentage on his way to his first goal to get a deposit to buy his own place when he's 21. Now he went and shared that goal with some people, some friends of his, and they said, oh, don't be stupid. You're never going to do that. Nobody buys their own home in London before they're 30. That's a dumb thing to think about. How many of you ever had that kind of thing where you said you had this goal to buy a property or get an investment property or buy a Lamborghini or whatever it was, or have a dream holiday, and your friends, your so-called friends said, oh, you'll never achieve that. Oh, that's not going to happen. Oh, that doesn't happen to people like us. Maybe it was even people that you would consider more successful than you. Do you know what's really sad is that sometimes people that are more successful than you, they don't want you to be more successful. They love the fact that they are ahead of you. They love the fact that they earn more money than you or drive a nicer car than you. That makes them feel important. You know what? You don't hang around with people. Don't share your goals and dreams with those people. Share them with people that say, I believe in you. I will help you to achieve those goals. Get away from people that are chickens. Somebody gave us an analogy. This guy, Gareth Morgan, and I'm going to get Gareth, I'm going to speak to him and see if I can get him to come on one of my lives. He's a guy that's got a book called The Winning Conversation. Here we go. This is the book. A little plug for Gareth. The Winning Conversation. And he talks about the self-talk that happens. And, he talks about how you kind of like I did, you say, oh, you can't do that. And he said that the problem is you can get an eagle and train him to be a chicken, raise him from a baby, and he'll act like a chicken. But he's an eagle, and all he needs is someone to show him how to be an eagle. You guys are eagles. You just need to start thinking bigger, talking bigger. Hang out with people like Dimples just said. Hang out with people that can believe in you, support you, train you, develop you, coach you, mentor you, encourage you. Don't hang out with people that think smaller than you or have a different motive. So they want to, they decide that they just want to keep you where you are. Hang out with people that are going to say, what can I do to help? One of the greatest joys I get in my life, in my business, in my life, it's seeing our children develop and seeing them grow into these fine young men, seeing them walk with confidence. I love seeing my 10-year-old when we're on the cruise. This is a boy that wouldn't ask anybody for things. On the cruise, he's walking up with his cruise card and going up to the bar and says, excuse me, sir, can I have a virgin, what was he? Virgin, what was the drink he had? Isabel would tell me. Not mojito. Some virgin thingy, a drink. I can't remember what it was. Isabel, just tell us what the drink was if it's important. But anyway, he'd go up there. Can I have one of these, please, sir? And he had no problem asking for this and asking for that. And he's 10. He's got this confidence. And it's amazing to have seen him develop this over, pina colada. That was it. A virgin. In fact, he came to me the other day with his cruise card and said, Daddy, one virgin pina colada, please. And I said, mate, your cruise card's expired. Sorry, we don't do them in the kitchen here. Okay, everyone's got this pina colada, right? I guess everyone likes pina coladas. Art Williams talked about putting no limits, okay? Think with no limits. Nothing was ever built with limited thinking. You got to think, people didn't go, well, hey, the candle works just fine, so I guess we'll just stick with that. They went, what if there was a better way? And, no one talks about the 1,000 different things that were tried before the light bulb was made, right? There's a lot of falling over, but as long as you're failing forward, as long as you are learning from those challenges, do you know what? You're good. You're on your right way. As long as you're with people that can pick you up and help you to get back on track, you're good. And the last thing I share, because I'm just conscious of the time, is that he said that, what he does is he learns to reward and punish himself. So if he didn't achieve his weekly goal by Friday, well, he'd work the weekend. But if he achieved it by Friday, he'd take the weekend off. So he just said, maybe you can do something like that. Maybe you can go, well, if I achieve this, I'm going to buy myself something, or I'm going to go for a nice meal, or take my family for something, or whatever it is. And if I don't do it, I'm not going to. So learn to reward and punish yourself as a way of motivating yourself. So that was an impromptu kind of live. Thank you guys for jumping on. I kind of just, because we've been so busy, we only got back yesterday or actually the day before. It's been crazy. So I just really wanted to share what I got. So next week I'll be back on again, same time, 11:15. 11:30. Or was it 11:15? I don't remember. What time did I get on to? 11:15, right? 11:15, and we will. Gosh, I've been going for. Wow, I thought I'd been going short. I must have got really into it. There was no limits on my time today, unfortunately. And this is one of those times where I probably should keep to time. But, I really appreciate you guys getting on and supporting the lives. Again, please, if you've got anything that you'd like me to cover, those of you that know me, you know my specialist areas, the things that I do, from leadership to goal setting to, mindset, whatever it is, please, by all means, message me. I do take requests, because I want these lives to be valuable to you, and I want to add value to you, your life, your business, your family. And so I'm happy to have those kind of chats. So feel free to PM me. And please, by all means, like, share, follow. Again, you can press on there and follow and see first. And that would also help you get to know when I'm on. I will also be doing some more impromptu lives kind of during the week from wherever I happen to be. If I get inspired to share something, I may do that too. But one thing I'll do is I'm definitely going to be doing these lives for the rest of the year for sure. Also, again, by all means, check out my YouTube channel. Just search Steve Obridge on YouTube. And there's a load of other stuff on there, which again, cover some various things. So I also started loading my previous lives up to YouTube after they're a few weeks old, so that they're still accessible and I'm not relying on YouTube. So, and also please comment and like them as well. That would be awesome too. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. And I, again, hope you took something from today. Have an awesome rest of the week. And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.